This is Dawn Must Follow Night, Part 1, Chapter 17, read by the author. Lothan did not like horses. They were dirty, difficult to master, smelly, and uncomfortable, which is why he traveled on foot as much as possible. Unfortunately, the distance to Dawn Castle was too great to make on foot, so here he was, trotting along with his axe, trying to ignore how his buttocks felt like they were turning into wood. He was only a little perturbed at the ordeal, though. According to Lord Lindrel, there were plenty of heads at the end of this road. He smiled at the image, then frowned at the thought that the Lord might be lying. His horse snorted as if it could sense its rider's discomfort. It was a small doubt. Lothan was good at reading people, and Lord Lindrel was a lot of things, but he did not strike the executioner as a liar. He spurred his horse alongside Sir Dorif and said, "How much longer?" "1 moon, maybe 2, Sir Dorif said, keeping his eyes on the road. "You have not told me what you mean to do when we get there." "We will repair the gate." "And after it is repaired?" "You need only do as you're told, headsman. We will worry about the rest. Rest assured you will get what was promised." Lothan squinted at the captain and watched him squirm in the saddle, then fell back and occupied himself with the scenery. It was clear Sir Dorif wasn't going to give him anything else. The Gone mountain range towered on his right. They played that trick on his eyes that large mountains do. It seemed that if he rode just a few miles north, he would be right at their base, even though the distance was much farther than that. Light reflected off the white peaks and illuminated a jagged outline against the glowing orange horizon. How the mountain tribes that lived on the slopes survived, Lothan would never know. The landscape they were traveling through now was some of the strangest territory he had ever encountered. A few moons ago the company had halted, and when Lothan went to see what was holding them up, he saw that one unfortunate rider had steered his horse off the road and fallen, but not into a sinkhole. The mud bubbled like boiling paint. Both rider and horse shrieked when their skins started to sear while they thrashed about, trying to escape. It was a firm reminder not to stray from the path. Since then, the land had grown more and more alien. The trees thinned out into stumps and blackened spikes that had been drowned and stained white at the base by hot springs. What he thought was smoke turned out to be steam rising from clear, bubbling pools. Now he passed one close to the road, and it seemed to Lothan that the spring was a gaping wound in the earth, and the red and yellow mineral deposits that ringed it were evidence that the wound was festering. It belched out a cloud of sulphur-smelling mist that drifted across Lothan and the Dindrans. He breathed it in, welcoming a relief from the smell of his horse. The cloud dissipated to reveal a black lump lying in the middle of the road. Sir Dorif was already there, along with his second-in-command. Both of them were staring. The captain held his nose. Lothan trotted up and realized what the lump was. The smell of rot hit the executioner and threw off his balance in the saddle. For one terrifying moment he thought he would fall face first into the decaying body, but he caught himself and let the nausea pass. It would seem strange for a headsman to be put off at the sight of a corpse, but Lothan was used to the pristine cuts of his axe. After that satisfying thunk, the headsman didn't have to worry about anything else. He never saw or smelled decay, only that final moment of a man's life. He stared at the horse. The empty socket stared back. Maggots wriggled in ecstasy as they digested the beast. The small bits of skin that were left were charred, which seemed strange to Lothan. If the horse had received burns severe enough to barbecue flesh from a spring, shouldn't it have died in that spring? It didn't seem likely that there was a horse arson roaming the lands near the castle of Dawn. Then again, lunatics were known to be about. Lothan was proof of that. Sir Dwarf broke the silence. "Get 5 men. Give them shovels and move this." The captain sighed and gave up trying to find the right word. "Yes, sir." His second trotted off. Dorif glanced at Lothan and met the executioner's eyes. Apparently he didn't like what he saw, because all Lothan got was a growl and a "do as you're told, headsman."